Millions in property taxes that are going unpaid, while at the same time, your hard-earned tax dollars are going directly into the pockets of landlords who are failing to pay up.
It is a vicious cycle that has been permitted in this county for far too long.
Councilman Mike Polensek watched our report. So did Cuyahoga County prosecutors.
Well, of course it's not right that they're receiving federal funding and then turning around not paying their local taxes.
Landlords like Neil Clough, who wanted to explain why he owes $40,000 in taxes. I pay my property taxes. My neighbors pay their property taxes. And when you're getting more than $100,000 in taxpayer subsidies, and you went for years without paying property taxes, was that fair?
I'm not going to say it's not fair, but it's getting paid, and it will be paid. That's the bottom line.
We found taxpayers gave Clough more than $100,000 over the last 5 years. Part of a government program that pays up to 70% of rent directly to landlords, so low-income families can find safe and affordable housing.
I just happen to put them on maybe the back burner while I kept up on the other ones.
We reviewed thousands of delinquent property records, then matched them to owners receiving your tax dollars. Across Cuyahoga County, we found at least 233 homes owned by landlords who have failed to pay property taxes, more than $1 million.
My whole intention is to pay all my taxes. But I had to spend a lot of money on these fires and attorney fees.
Attorney fees from lawsuits like this. It was filed by Cuyahoga prosecutors on still other Clough properties, not subsidized by taxpayers.
These properties are in terrible, deplorable condition.
And taken over by a court-ordered receiver last July to be repaired and sold, a move Clough insists cut into his ability to pay taxes.
I think like around 8 or 9 of those would have been all paid up to date had they didn't take the houses away from me.
Is that a valid argument on his case?
No, I would say that the record's very clear that Neil has a history of not paying taxes on his properties.
Matthew Yorkovich represents Detroit Shoreway Development Corporation. It's repeatedly raised concerns over taxes and conditions.
And the receiver was only appointed over his properties in approximately July of 2017. So any delinquent taxes prior to July 2017, he would have been receiving all of the rents for those properties.
Meanwhile, other landlords continue to receive millions of your tax dollars in rent subsidies while failing to pay taxes. At the same time, Cuyahoga County tax collectors are failing to act. And it's putting other Cleveland neighborhoods like this at risk. What is happening in your ward?
It all started with police action on December 19th.
A dramatic shootout in broad daylight, armed gunmen firing repeated shots, wounding a 7-year-old girl. That night, an armored SWAT team outside a home directly across the street. All unfolding in Polensek's ward that alone has $12 million in delinquent taxes.
This 2-family raggedy house was $37,000 in back taxes where these characters were living.
$37,000 in back taxes owed by an out-of-state landlord that we found received more than $13,000 of your tax dollars to help pay the rent.
And getting guaranteed rent every month through CMHA Section 8. And then contributing to the decimation and destruction of my own neighborhood.
And as Cuyahoga tax collectors fail to act, landlords continue to pocket your money while cheating the system.
And our office is going to do whatever we can to keep tabs on some of these individuals and see what we can do about it.
And we've repeatedly asked those in charge of collecting taxes in Cuyahoga County for specific steps they're taking to crack down on tax cheats, but so far have had no response. I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.